Coming up on the County Line, I'll introduce you to the newest member of the Newcastle Police Department. He's only 3 years old, but already an essential part of the force.
Spring has sprung in New Wilmington. Reporter DK takes a look at a popular local activity.
And our on-the-road team takes a swing at a few spring sports in Shenango. We're live.
We're local.
The County Line starts now. Good evening and welcome to tonight's spring edition of the County Line. I'm Pamela Marlowe.
And I'm Stevie Nelson. The area saw a nice temperature boost the first days of spring. However, because of rain and lightning strikes early this afternoon, the first power outage of the season resulted. Around 3:15 this afternoon, the immediate Westminster College campus lost power for nearly an hour and a half due to a downed power line on Westminster Drive. Only the college and part of downtown New Wilmington was affected by the outage.
The thunderstorm this afternoon is proof that spring is finally here. Lawrence and Mercer County saw a fittingly nice warm-up just in time for the new season. The County Line's Chris Norris discovered it wasn't very hard to shake off those winter blues.
Spring has finally arrived with blossoming plants.
Let's go ahead and look for something to eat.
Animals like squirrels and geese are out and about. And of course, flip-flops are back in style. With the highly anticipated arrival of spring, students can finally come out of hibernation and walk across campus in much warmer weather.
Spring means to me a very good, happy time. It means life, basically, and a renewal of things to come, just an open door for the rest of life.
And just being outside, playing basketball, throw the baseball around, soccer, of course, whatever. It's just nice being outside.
I like to go on nature walks and just be outside, and I like to go down to the falls and McConnell's Mills. There's a lot of really cool areas around here.
As always, with the arrival of a new season comes new fashion trends.
I'm getting rid of my shoes and wearing these sandals all the time, yeah. I'll be wearing them work, school.
Pastels, always, not whites just yet. After Easter, you can wear whites. Light colors for bright colors. Skirts, capris are always a good thing. Little heels, the kitten heels always work. And I like to wear a light sweater or a light jacket just in case it's a little chilly.
Spring enthusiasts can only hope that this March sun will bring about April fun. I'm Chris Norris for the County Line.
The spring season offers an opportunity to head outdoors and pick up a new hobby or activity. The County Line's DK explores a fishy business in Volant, perfect for spring.
With the winter snow melting and the arrival of spring, Missionary Creek welcomed its first fly fisher of the season. When I arrived at Missionary Creek, I met with David Jones from Beaver, who has been fly fishing for 15 years. Jones explains the difference between fly fishing and regular fishing, as well as the strategies involved and how he takes pride in fooling the fish.
With regular fishing, it's you put on a lure or bait, and then you cast the lure or bait. With the fly fishing, it's the flies actually don't have any weight, so you're casting the fly line. Well, what we're doing today, because the water is high, is fishing under the surface for the larval stages of the insects as they hatch, as they come up from the water. A lot of guys, traditionalists, like to fly fish just on top of the water. That's dry fly fishing, where the fly floats. So there's dry flies that float and then wet flies that go under the water. If I can wax philosophical for a moment, that I enjoy the fact that I fooled the fish into thinking that was something that should naturally be there, that I didn't present it with a big stinky worm, just to get it to strike out of hunger or aggression. That I inserted myself into into the fish's environment, and I presented the fly in a way that was natural enough for that fish to think that, that this was this nature taking its course with this fly floating down there, and it's satisfying.
Inside the Neshannock Creek Fly Shop, I met with Bob Shuey, who has been the owner for 11 years. He tells me the fish you can expect to find in the creek, and like any sport, there are rules that you have to follow.
The Shannock's a freestone, so we have basically the trout, which are stocked, and then we have a warm water population of fish, your smallmouth. Actually, we have largemouth, we got bluegills, we got carp, we have catfish. So, basically, we have pike in this creek too, big pike. So, we have all types of fish in our stream. Trout fishing is what most people are, targeting. We have a 2.7 mile special regulated water. They're throughout the Commonwealth, okay? So basically here behind my shop, 2.7 miles, you can fish year-round, 365 days, catch and release. No baits permitted.
If fly fishing is going to be your next hobby, you're going to need the right equipment. From pants to vest, poles, and don't forget the flies. So get your gear and get your feet wet and try your hand at fly fishing. I'm DK, reporting for the County Line.
Fly fishers won't be the only ones in the area possibly getting wet this spring. The dry status in Grove City could change as early as May. Voters will have the opportunity to vote on whether liquor licenses should be issued for the sale of alcohol in the borough. The possible change is the result of a petition headed by a local businessman, Stephen Steigerwald. He collected over 800 signatures from local residents. Recently, the downtown sector of Grove City received a major facelift in hopes of boosting tourism, although Steigerwald fears Grove City won't thrive if the borough continues not serving alcohol.
New Wilmington residents will face the same referendum on whether or not their town will drop the dry status. Voters will decide the town's fate on May 15th. If you are not registered to vote, April 15th is the last day to register in Pennsylvania's upcoming primary. In addition to the referendum, county commissioner seats in both Lawrence and Mercer counties are up for a vote. For more information, visit the website on your screen.
Police in the area last week, nearly 100 area police spent Friday arresting 23 suspected drug dealers out of a list of 30 wanted in the Newcastle area. Federal agents, state troopers, and local police officers joined in on an effort by the Lawrence County Task Force to clean up streets in Lawrence and Mercer counties. Lawrence County District Attorney John Bonjavengo calls Friday raids Operation Guns Up. The DA says the suspects are accused of dealing OxyContin, cocaine, and heroin.
Newcastle police officers keep a special friend around the station to use when their senses need a little help. The County Line's Danielle Adams discovers what a day in the life of a bomb-sniffing dog really entails.
Department where we spent a day with Bronco, Lawrence County's very first explosive detection canine.
Bronco is a 3-year-old German Shepherd. He's originally from Germany. All of his commands are in German. Bronco is a dual-purpose canine, explosive detection canine, and patrol. Bronco is assigned to the Region 13 Task Force, which complies with 13 counties throughout western, southern, and midwest Pennsylvania. Whenever there is a major incident, the 13 dogs from the 13 different counties will get together and will assist each other as needed. We do get together twice a month to train in the Pittsburgh area. We do explosive detection, odor work. We put hides out throughout buildings, vehicles, different scenarios for the dogs to adapt to. The dogs will enter the room or enter the area, look for the odor. Once he finds the odor, he'll indicate where the odor is, and that way will determine where the general area of the explosive is. Bronco is trained with the odors. When he indicates on the source or on the odor, he's rewarded a toy, and that is his drive. Again, when he does locate the source, he gets a reward toy, and he gets very excited over his reward toy.
Not only is Bronco Lawrence County's first explosive detection canine, he's also trained in aggression work. I'm Danielle Adams for the County Line.
Meanwhile, dog and other pet owners in the area should check the labels on all pet foods in their home. Menu Foods Income Fund is recalling about 50 brands of pet food after reported kidney failure in some animals as a result of contamination. Grove City's Agway Pet Supplies owner George Rogers says the contaminated food did make it to our area, but so far the contamination has affected only a small number of animals.
Still to come on the county line, Danielle Adams gives us a peek at spring sports to come in Titantown sports.
And our on-the-road crew gets involved in some spring sports action as well.
Stay tuned, more County Line is on the way.
Come on! This way! Who is that guy? I don't know! Hurry up and we're behind us! I know! Come on, get up!
7 years ago.
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to loc.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at loc.gov.
Everyone should have a plan for what to do if disaster strikes. And if you have pets, you should have one for them too. Always have up-to-date identification on your dog or cat. Keep current color photos of your pets with the rest of your emergency supplies. If you know danger is coming, get your dogs on a leash and your cats in a carrier as soon as possible. Remember, your pet is safest when it's with you. This message brought to you on behalf of the Lawrence County Humane Society.
It's been quite a while since we've seen baseball on television, and with our on-the-road crew being the big sports fans they are, they decided to travel to Hitters, Hackers, and Hoops in hopes of shaking off the rust.
For this week's On the Road, we head out to Hitters, Hackers, and Hoops in Newcastle on Route 422. We're going to play some baseball, a little bit of football,
do some golfing, and shoot some hoops.
We lost.
Dang it.
Whew, man, I am tired. I loved playing baseball, though. That wore me out.
Yeah, it was great to catch the football in the field.
Yeah, that was fun. Jill?
Definitely love shooting the hoops.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. Danielle, how about you? Well, that'll do it for this week's On the Road. We'll see you next time.
So, Pam, are you any good at basketball?
Oh, well, I'd give it a try. That's about all I'm going to say there. But what about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
We might have to challenge them to a little duel after the show. What do you think?
Absolutely. They'll have to watch out for us. With the arrival of spring begins the preparation for the ever-popular New Wilmington Missionary Conference. However, the mission in New Wilmington area does not begin and end at the conference. Reporter Nikki Pizar introduces us to these caring locals.
The needs of this world are great. Approximately half the world's population lives in poverty.
Tanzania is one of the poorest countries in the world.
Father Filbert, a priest from Tanzania who is currently studying at Duquesne University, spoke to the Westminster community about Catholicism in Africa. He stressed the importance of mission work.
I've been going to different places for the mission appeal. I went to St. Paul, Minneapolis. I went to California. I went to West Virginia. In all these places, I've gone for mission appeal to ask for money to build a high school in my town, in my village, Ifakara. The church as a whole is trying its best to help the kids, to help the families, so that the kids could go to the school and get education.
Right across the street from where Father Filbert spoke, New Wilmington Presbyterian Church reaches out to the local community and to the world through a variety of mission projects. Children's Ministry Coordinator Ronnie Christie explains the idea behind the mission program.
As an educator, I'm trying to help people understand different ages, how to reach out to others and how to share Christ's love to others. So our new term is ministry behavior, mission behavior. How do we bring Christ's love to different parts of our lives in different interactions with our families, with this community, with community abroad.
The mission projects help those in the local community as well as people from various countries around the world, including India, Kenya, and the Dominican Republic. According to Mary Louise Ireland, a member of the Church Mission Committee, over 30% of the church budget goes to mission.
In our presbytery, that's 60-some churches. We would be one of the highest, if not the highest, in our mission gift.
As New Wilmington Presbyterian Church continues its mission outreach and Father Filbert continues his mission appeal, one thing is clear. Mission work makes a difference. In New Wilmington, I'm Nikki Pizar for the County Line.
New Wilmington is not only a town full of caring locals like those missionaries, it also offers locals a chance to save the environment. Good evening, I'm Sky Apel, joined by Director of the Field Station, Clarence Harms. Thanks for being here, Clarence. Could you tell me a little about what you do with recycling and composting?
Well, I do a lot of things that are compost related, some that are not. As Director of the Field Station, I'm in charge of what goes on there academically. It's an educational institution, part of Westminster. So that involves children, that involves college students, it involves community people. Now, with composting part of it, that's only a part of it. There I pick up, I put on my gloves, put on an apron, I hand sort food wastes, take what can't be composted out, put the rest on the tractor, run over to the compost pile, put it in every week, stir it. 4 months later, it's good soil. So that's what happens with the compost.
And how much of your time does this take? Is it a lot of time?
Fortunately, I'm half-time with the college, so that means I don't have to keep track of my hours. I work about 40 hours a week out there, and I'm out there parts of 6 or 7 days a week. Wow. So it's not part-time in the sense of just a couple of hours here and there.
And how does the community get involved with the stuff you do?
Well, the community is already involved in drop-offs. I have a place for them to bring their food waste, their shrubs, their Christmas trees, their kitty litter, that kind of thing, and they drop it off and I work with it from that point on. Community could do more by way of interest in it. Just yesterday, I had a man come by and want to know whether he could bring some shrubs by instead of burning them, and I said, why, of course. So he's going to drop them off over there, and we will make good use of the shrubs by chipping them later on in the summer.
Oh, good. Students here at Westminster, is there anything we could do to help you out at all?
Well, first of all, I guess the word is read, where containers say recyclables, that's the only thing that should go in there. Students can also be involved by, in the dining hall, taking food, only food that they're going to eat. I get a lot of leftovers. I get extra pads of butter, for example, that people take. And interestingly, what I do with those pads of butter that haven't been opened, I open them later on, feed them to the birds. Little packages of crackers I open up and I feed those to the birds too. It makes a little hard work for me, but it's okay. It's part of the package. Students could be involved in a whole number of ways, and the most serious would be volunteer to come out there and do some work. Put on your gloves and learn how to hand sort compostables from the food.
Well, that's wonderful. We're going to Be right back after this break with more County Line. Thank you.
Check it out, man. What is that? It looks like someone's belly. Yeah, probably lost it walking on the beach. Man, just leave it. Let's go.
Like sports? Want to be part of all the action? Join Westminster College's Broadcast Communications Department.
2, 1, it's over! The Lady Titans win! The Lady Titans win!
Ever dreamed of being on ESPN or calling the big game on the radio? Then the Broadcast Communications Department at Westminster College is definitely for you.
3 to the 8!
At Westminster, you will get hands-on experience from your freshman year to your senior year and receive instruction from the best faculty in the field.
There are so many opportunities here at Westminster, and the professors are constantly getting you involved in any projects that they can. They really help you out in your field.
So turn your love for sports into a career with Westminster College's Broadcast Communications Department. To find out more, surf the web to titanradio.net.
Good evening and welcome to Titantown Sports. Don't adjust your TV sets. I'm not DJ Yoakley. I'm Danielle Adams. Now that we've acquainted ourselves, let's get down to business. It's been a big week of pigskin pandemonium as local teams prepare for off-season workouts. Coaches have been coming and going faster than an online dating service, starting off with Shenango High School, who earlier this week named Ryan Mayo as the new football coach. A graduate of Western Beaver, Mayo has spent the last 5 seasons as an assistant coach at his alma mater. Neshannock has also made some changes to their coaching lineup. Pat Cuba replaces Bob Nogay as head skipper of the Lancers. Cuba was a defensive backs coach at Westminster for 14 years. And speaking of Westminster, Coach Hand announced this week the addition of Scott Coy to the athletic staff. Coy will serve on the Titan football program as the offensive line coach and special teams coordinator. Coy comes to Westminster from Northern Illinois University, where he coached the offensive line there as well. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit from fall sports to spring sports, or what was supposed to be spring sports. With the forecast as unpredictable as March Madness this year, teams are just trying to get games in however they can. Titantown sports reporter DJ Yoakley has more.
Welcome to Western Pennsylvania, home of 12-degree Fridays and 60-degree Saturdays. For Division III athletic directors such as Jim Daffler, it's always one that makes a great impression.
It can be frustrating in that standpoint too, because it looks like we might have 3 or 4 great days, 65 degrees and sunny. Why aren't we playing makeup games? It's not always because we don't want to, it's because we can't due to the other team's schedule as well. And while we know at this point in time what days of the week student athletes are going to be missing classes on our schedule, we have no idea what those days are going to be like as we get into makeup days, and it can really create a problem. So the best thing that could happen for us would be to have sunny and 60-degree weather for the rest of the spring, and that would solve all those problems. We try to minimize the number of, for example, in baseball and softball, we try to minimize the number of midweek games.
So where do the games go? They just don't disappear. Oftentimes a team goes from an empty schedule to a very hectic week.
There's not a specific policy about this, but a lot of times, obviously, we're going to try to get the baseball and softball teams at least on the IM side because the cage is there for hitting.
With so many players and coaches in need of a facility to practice in, compromise is a big key to the success of Westminster athletics.
Most of the time the coaches have been tremendously cooperative in that and working with each other to get the time in that they need for their practice.
Well, one team that didn't have to worry about the weather is the Westminster College swim team. The 400 medley relay team broke records last week at the NCAA championships. I caught up with the team and asked what things are like when records are broken.
400 medley relay record was pretty special because we had broken it at packs,
and that was just great. And then to see that we could do it again at Nationals was kind of unexpected because our time was pretty fast at PAX, and to break it again and get in the top 8, that was really special.
It felt good just to get the relays there, because I remember our freshman year, it's been our goal since then to get a relay to Nationals ever since Coach told us that we've never had an NCAA relay there. So just getting the relay there was like amazing for us, and then placing in the top 8 and top 16 in those 2 relays is like, it was unbelievable.
Just our goal to make it, and the fact that we got 8th place in the nation is just like a great thing for the school, and I know it's like one of the top things I've ever done in my life.
When Ryan finished, we were all just pretty surprised that that was our time. I don't know, there wasn't as much celebration as I thought, because I don't know that we thought we'd do it, and it was just kind of real unexpected. So it was a great feeling though.
From feelings of excitement to feelings of sadness, Ryan and Pat say this was the perfect way to end their Titan career.
It's mixed feelings. Like, I don't know how much people know about swimming, but it's a pretty demanding sport. So we're probably not going to miss like the 5:45 morning like practices and getting in the water, but we're going to miss like dual meets and competing and being with our teammates and things like that. But like, I couldn't have like made up a better ending to our season and our 4 years here.
It's kind of weird. I've been swimming since I was 8, and now it's over, just kind of like that. But I couldn't have thought a better way to go out. Ryan mentioned to me during the senior recognition that, you know, if you would have said this 4 years ago, would you believe we'd be standing here getting recognized like this? Definitely not. I just wanted to make it through 4 years of college swimming, and Nationals was a good way to go out.
The season may be over, but goals have already been set for next year.
My goal is just to make it back to Nationals these next 2 years, and hopefully qualify in a better spot and with a better time.
We're hoping that with the nucleus we have of the underclassmen and Connor and Chris, who got to go to Nationals, they could tell the team what a great experience they had, as well as Megan and Becky on the women's side, and hopefully they'll inspire some more of their teammates to train a little bit harder and experience the national championships next year.
In our extra innings tonight, Andrew Robinson was named the Pack Pitcher of the Week. Robinson hurled 2 solid performances for the Dirt Dogs in Fort Myers, Florida over break, so congratulations go out to him. And of course, the big game everyone is talking about is the Pitt versus UCLA game. Pitt's got the height advantage, but UCLA has the home court advantage as it will take place in San Jose. And finally, Tubby Smith is leaving the University of Kentucky for Minnesota and is expected to get $1.8 million a year with the Gophers. Well, that does it this week for Titan Town Sports. Join us next week with Dave Gregg for his big debut. Same time, same channel. More news is on the way.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of the County Line. Join us again next week as Clarissa Hunter takes a quick trip over to Grove City for a very sweet treat.
Also join our On the Road team as they attempt to warm up their vocal cords in Sharon.
Join us again next week, Thursday at 7:30 right here on the County Line. Have a good night.
pillage Little Britain. The movement was thought up by several British business owners in that area. They've even got support from a British pop star.
And we actually were sort of bouncing the idea around with some friends, and we just thought it's time somebody actually did it. So that, plus the sort of city reaching critical mass, really, with the whole influx of British residents, businesses, etc., it just seemed like it was the time to do it.
There's Italy, there's Chinatown, and there's, all these kind of different things, but the Brits don't have it, so let's just make it happen.
Joss Stone. Well, Virgin Atlantic Airlines is also throwing their support behind the initiative. We'll see where that goes. An LA minister is suing the police department because they seized his marijuana. Reverend Craig X. Rubin's church believes that pot is a religious herb. Anybody listening in here? It's called Temple 420, and the lawsuit says that its congregation has 3 mandates: study the Bible, have faith in God, and burn marijuana as a sacrament. He's asking for $30 million.